Hi, welcome to Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 132 today. NBA Finals, Detroit Lions game-by-game prediction, and best travel snacks.
Yep, look, travel snacks, I tweaked a bit. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
kind of tweaked it to pocket snacks.
Pocket snacks, travel snacks. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're similar but not the same. So, little man went to New York, saw some UFC. Please give us a rundown.
So I don't think I've been called little man since I was probably 6. So I just want to put that out there. And that's a tough start to the episode.
He's little.
Okay.
Small.
Went to UFC with Blake, cousin Noah, cousin Colin. Great stuff. UFC's cool. New York's very cool. I won't talk about UFC because I know that's not what we talk about here. But it was a great card. It was really cool. It was a great main.
Listen, boxing was huge in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Then it kind of fell off, but it has been replaced by UFC. There's a little bit of boxing fans, but I think that generation of fans, and then the next generation, like your guys, big in the UFC. It's real fighting. Wrestling is fake.
Wrestling is fake, and boxing is
Boxing
actually
is
fake
fake
too.
and fixed.
And the best part about UFC is it's all the fight. Like you like kickboxing, they do that UFC. You like grappling, they do it all. They do
Muay Thai.
everything, right? So it's not just like punching, respectfully, right?
Yep.
UFC's everything. But the punching is the best. That's the coolest. That's the most metal. New York. So we're talking about New York. New York's just our city at this point. We just run it. And Noah and I had been there before last summer. And it took Blake and Colin maybe 4 hours until they ran it too. Whether it be navigating lost foreigners in the subway station or befriending New York locals because we try to act and dress like locals.
That's key.
We develop an accent when we're down there, so we have an accent for most of that trip too.
Brooklyn accent?
It's kind of it's supposed to be a New York accent. It's honestly kind of like a Boston accent, but you just kind of it's an American New York East Coast.
With a hint of Canadian?
Well, I don't even think I have a Canadian accent. We don't have. That's a whole different thing. So New York, great stuff. We went to the comedy club and saw comics at the New York Comedy Club, which was super cool.
Cool.
New York, great stuff. Do you have any other direct questions about New York?
You saw a Mets game.
We saw Mets game, which was great. JD Martinez, go-ahead homer in the 8th. We also run that stadium where it's all right, you want to sit 5 rows behind the dugout? Let's go and do that, fellas. So that's kind of what we did. And then you just befriend the people around you, right?
Listen, we've had success virtually everywhere moving down, except Indianapolis was really hard.
Yeah, except Indy. Well, they get their staff is, respect to them. They're very well trained. They go through the camp.
Retired teachers, retired cops, they're on point.
Yeah, they have a training camp for the Indianapolis Pacers. It's probably the same for Colts games if we end up at a Colts game too. But
Probably.
That's all I got. New York, great stuff. Great job, New York. See you soon.
Okay, we need to give a shout out to Ben Johnson. He's 38 years old, and
I don't think he listens.
The line is, yeah, he does.
Okay.
Lions offensive coordinator. He said he wants to stay in the sunshine a little longer. There are generally 4, 5, 6, 7 head coaching openings every year in the NFL. And Ben pretty much said he likes the Lions, he likes the organization, he likes where the team is at. So rather than going to a organization that is poop and he's going to get beat up and fired after 2 years, he's going to get some run with the Lions, get even more of a legacy. Sorry, Washington. And he's just going to do the math. And, next year he's going to get a job if he wants. But a job will be there for him. But in the meantime, he's staying home. He's staying with us. He's a Detroit Windsor guy now.
Yeah, so I think 2 months ago he said he was staying with the Lions.
Yeah, but the quote about wanting to stay in the sunshine a little longer, that was last week.
Yeah, look, we're in on Ben Johnson, and as soon as we'll talk about the Lions, I guess, here this episode. We haven't done it for a while. When the season ended, I was under the impression that Johnson was gone.
Me too.
It was kind of unspoken. It was just okay.
We had a good run with him. That's okay.
And then obviously that translates to is the window closing now that we're losing our offensive guru guy? Window's still open. Window's still wide open, as we'll talk about here with the state of the team and their schedule. But Ben Johnson, yeah, he's our guy. He's our guy.
Windows in the NFL are super hard to predict because of injuries and because drafts make such a huge impact, positively or negatively. Anyway, we're recording on Saturday, so we're looking at Game 1 of the NHL Finals tonight. Everybody in Canada is now an Oilers fan. Uncle Dan is losing his mind about the series. Did you see the goal by Connor McDavid the other day?
Yeah, Uncle Dan sent it to us 4 times.
He did.
No, yeah, I saw it.
Awesome. If McDavid and the Oilers win, where does that bring him up to? Messier level? Don't know, not Gretzky level. That isn't a conversation.
We don't know. I have no idea. I have zero idea. You have also no idea.
We need to get Uncle Dan on the show.
Okay.
I think it brings him up to Messier level, but not even talk about Gretzky level.
With my zero knowledge of hockey, I'm going to say no. Again, zero knowledge of the
80s
sport.
and 90s, I was a big fan.
Yeah, I wasn't born then, so I didn't watch any of it then, unfortunately. So
No.
I'll just defer to you because you watched hockey 40 years ago. It's kind of how that will go.
That's true.
It's good.
6 teams? Were there only 6 teams when I started watching?
Yeah, like the Bill Russell 8 championship, where it's just
Playing
they
plumbers?
play 8 teams. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Got it. Let's roll into the NBA.
Okay, one more thing, NFL. Justin Jefferson got paid. This is a very big deal for the sport and the history of the sport. Makes the lines look smarter with the Amon-Ra stuff.
Yep.
So that's going to start kicking in now. Cowboys kind of put themselves in a really bad position. People aren't talking about it enough. Go ahead.
CeeDee Lamb, he needs to get paid. He's a great receiver. I don't know if he's 2 or 3 or 4, but he's a top wide receiver in the NFL. And the Cowboys were completely dependent on him last year, and now they're pissing him off.
They're pissing him off. He's going to get the exact same money as Jefferson, maybe more.
Yeah, it'll be close.
Because if you look at their numbers, I think Jefferson is clear-cut the number 1 receiver in the NFL. But Lamb, I think, has a couple more touchdowns. Lamb is a little playoff stuff. Lamb had
Yeah, he's been a little more durable.
There are some stats that make CD's team is going to go to Old Man Jones and say look, here's our guy. We're getting the Jefferson contract. Then Jamar Chase will get. He's a year after them, so then he'll get his money. Look,
is he going to get his money this year, or is it going to be next offseason?
That's another piece of debate here. If the Bengals want to get on this early before these contracts continue to rise and just say look, we're going to pay Jamar a bunch anyways. Let's just pay him $35 million right now.
Yeah.
So that could happen too. But he's next in line. So the Amon-Ra contract again is now falling right into the market, kind of what we expected.
Yep.
That's all I got for. I just want to talk about that. It's very important. People aren't talking about that enough.
Sure. Okay, NBA Finals, lots of hype. Dallas, Boston. I mean, several reasons for the hype. One, because these are the only 2 teams left, so they're advertising the heck out of them. It's funny how much hate and anger and publicity there's been about Kyrie playing Boston, but really nothing much about Porzingis because he was in Boston and he didn't get along great with Luka.
He was in Dallas.
He was in Dallas. Yeah. He didn't get along great with Luka, but they seem to have patched things up, and nobody seems to think that's a story.
Is that what you want to start with? Because there's a lot of angles.
There's a lot of angles. Well, let's.
And I don't want to talk about the actual game.
Let's talk about the Kyrie angle first.
Okay. So do we want to talk about this series or as a whole, leading up to this series? Because I
think the backstory with Kyrie is important because he has burned so many bridges. He's going to have to
probably literally too. He is an anarchist.
He's going to have to take helicopters around the flat Earth.
Okay. Helicopters and basketball. We stay.
That's
stay away.
R.I.P. Kobe.
Yep. That's a stay away there. Look, the Kyrie stuff. People talk about Kyrie, and he's just getting this victory lap right now. And everyone's so good for Kyrie. So happy to see this guy flourish. Really, he deserves it. So happy for him. Basketball missed this. And then everyone's acting like he's coming back from a Paul George type Gordon Hayward injury or some tragic off the court stuff. They're acting or he had to go serve in the war for a few years. They're acting like some monumental thing. No, he was just an absolute lunatic for 7 years, 6 years.
Pretty much since 2016.
And burned all these bridges like you talked about. And then now he either got someone in his life to say, Kyrie, shut up and don't say stuff to the media.
He's got good meds, he's got a good psychologist, he's got something, a good handler, I don't know.
Or maybe he's actually just made some strides in his well-being and he's not actually an anarchist. I don't buy that.
I think he's still a maniac.
Yeah.
I think he's somehow somebody took away his phone and said, okay, here's what you get access to. MySpace, and that's it.
Yeah. So I don't like the fact, and we're probably going to get flack for this because a lot of my buddies and a lot of guys that are basketball people are very supportive of Kyrie, just in terms of him making the basketball comeback. And yes, I agree. I like seeing him on the court.
For sure. He is, for the last decade, has been one of the most talented players in the league. I'll say consistently top 5 talent.
Well,
nobody would put him in top 15 overall in terms of,
you got guys talking about, I hate this debate, and this is a whole different debate that we won't get into, but people talk about the most skilled NBA players ever. And everyone's always Kyrie. And then people in this conversation usually discredit Curry by saying he's not as skilled. I'm sorry, is being the best shooter of all time not a skill? is just cool
Yeah, it's
ball
a
handling
tremendous
and nice
skill.
layups, a better skill than shooting from 40 feet out. So, again,
And Curry can finish with either hand almost as good as Kyrie, but he's not a lunatic, and he's a better shooter, and he's a better mid-range
he's a
shooter
family
as well.
man and he's an upstanding
Yeah,
citizen.
he's a good dude.
But regardless, so that's, I
He's
just
got a better
hate,
shimmy, too.
I hate the skill stuff. People always talk about Kyrie's the most skilled. Okay.
Agreed.
Curry, and people always bash you honest with this.
We went to a game in Boston right after Kyrie left and burned that bridge, and there were so many Trader Kyrie jerseys. It was crazy.
Yeah, and that's the whole Boston debate of this, that's probably another stay away. Look, the Kyrie, I have no more thoughts on that. I just wanted to say, like, I'm happy he's doing well, but I don't want to act like he's coming back from breaking his leg or anything. He's coming back from being stupid and just causing lots of trouble the past few years and selfish stuff, even on the court too.
Yep.
And he reacted terribly when he played in Boston, like just in the middle of games, just like flipping off fans and that. I like going back and forth with fans. Not to delve into the Luka stuff here, we'll do that later. But Luka talks to fans.
Yep.
And he does it kind of the right way, where it's just like a quick expletive at a fan or two, and then kind of keeps playing.
Right. Some of these rich guys who sit in the front, they are screaming and yelling at the
They're
guys.
all coked up and
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. And like good basketball players, they hit a three and then they just look over. It's almost like Reggie Miller, Spike Lee. There you go. Take that.
Well, you saw Halliburton do this. Halliburton, I think it was in Boston. I think it was that series. Where like there's a couple Boston fans that sparked Halliburton to shoot, and Halliburton wouldn't shoot.
Yeah.
But then these fans kind of like yelled at him, and I think that's lit a fire in him, right? So Kyrie, that's the non-basketball piece there. I'm tired of it. I'm happy he's playing basketball, but I'm not going to give him a victory lap like 90% of people. And again, we're probably in the minority for saying that, and I think you back me up on that.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, we might as well roll in and talk about Dallas, Minnesota, and how Dallas got to the finals.
Okay.
So, listen, Luka, right now, today, is probably playing his best basketball and playing the best basketball in the world right now. I mean, Jokic didn't have a spectacular series, but a lot of that had to do with, Murray dinged up and missing a lot of shots. But Dallas wasn't on fire at any point in the playoffs. Sorry, meaning Denver wasn't on fire at any point in the playoffs. Ant was playing amazing for a little while. And honestly, it looked like Minnesota was going to beat Dallas. Just, you're looking at the matchups, like just too big, too much depth. But listen, Kyrie played pretty well, did not act like an idiot. Luka played spectacular. And then the wings and the bigs for Dallas really played well. Like the pick and roll, so many dunks. It was a very entertaining series. The Cat thing is just crazy. I don't know. What's your analysis of Cat? What do you do with him?
So glad. So we will talk about game one of the finals.
Yep.
But this isn't a crazy busy episode, so we can delve into side quests here.
Yep.
So I'm glad you asked about Cat, because we haven't prepped a ton for this. I wrote down some stuff for Towns.
By prepping, do you mean naps?
Yeah, we had some naps too.
Yep. Key.
I'll own up. We'll just say Ant didn't have the best series. We're huge Ant guys. I'm a massive Ant guy. He didn't have the best series. I get it.
He did not.
So kind of own up. There's some excuses I can and will make, but for the most part, he was not what he wasn't on Luka's level, right?
No.
We can say that for sure. Again, he's 22 years old and playing with bum, whatever. So the Ant kind of underperforming a bit. Cat underperformed a supreme amount.
He had a couple of stretches where he hit some threes, but he's a max player who many times was benched in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he didn't close games.
Yeah, how often does that happen with max players? Not very much.
So the issue with the Wolves was it just became more evident how reliable this team was on a 22-year-old guy. Mm-hmm. Which just, again, adds to the Gobert trade, where the Gobert trade is on the foundation and basis that Ant-Man is going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's going to win championships at 23, 24, 25. That just shows how reliant they are on him. So whatever. So Towns. The cap stuff is really complicated, and the Minnesota ownership stuff is really complicated. Basically, they can keep Towns, but they're going to be in absolute cap disaster.
Yeah, they're going to pay a ton.
They should look into trading him, and I think they will. And it's tough not because a few shots go the other way, and maybe Luka's knee gets more banged up, and the Wolves are in the finals, and we don't have this talk. Mm-hmm. But that didn't happen, so we're gonna have this.
So Conley's 1 year older. Rudy still has no offensive game.
That's a polite way to put it. Yeah.
Honestly, he plays offense like me.
No, you're better on offense than him. Actually, I'd rather. Well, the lob threat that Rudy presents is nice.
He's a better lob threat than me.
But other than that, if I have to give the ball up willingly on offense, I would much rather give it to you on a 15-foot, 16-foot, not 18, 20-foot, But a 16-foot jump shot on the
16,
baseline.
maybe 17.
If your legs are there that night.
Sometimes Isaac will say to me, like, honestly, 17-foot, 16-foot baseline jumper, that's my shot these days. I don't have a lot else. A couple of moves down low that I'm starting to get back. Okay. But here's the thing. Gobert, like, he's so big, and he really is a great defensive player. But, the matchup is just bad with him and anyone guarding him. Like, you can just roll, and you can guard him with a 6'4" guard.
Yeah, the issue is what Dallas did very well is they made Minnesota funnel their offense through him by basically just kind of leaving him open at the 15 to 12 foot range. Like, just left him
right
open.
in the middle of the key.
Middle of the key, inside the free throw line. And they kind of had no choice but to pass it to him there and then put him in the short roll, and he's not good facility. So it was really ugly. And that's why you got the ball a lot, because we were saying, why does he have the ball so much? Dallas was just like, please give him the ball there. So I'm going to give you some trades. And if you want to talk about it, we'll stop. And if you don't want to talk, we'll keep going.
Okay.
Trae Young for Towns and pick swaps.
Keep it moving.
Good. DeJounte Murray and Bogdanovich for Towns.
That's something worth talking about.
I'm all over this one.
Yeah.
The cap, these are from Bleacher Report. I didn't make these.
Okay.
So I assume the cap works.
Let's assume the cap works.
Okay. DeJounte Murray and Bogdanovich for Towns makes a lot of sense for Minnesota.
Yeah, more wing depth.
It probably allows Conley to slide to the bench.
Because they need to limit his minutes because he's 36, I think, turning 37.
Yeah.
Reed, who's the best sixth man in the league, again, rules, things along those lines, but certainly the best backup big. He gets more minutes, and he can just... Because going to go through some times where he's on fire from three.
Bogdanovich is a valuable role player who would get minutes in a playoff series. Like, he's probably your 8th guy or so, maybe 7th guy. I love this. I don't think this will happen.
Dallas has 2 guys. Sorry, Atlanta has 2 guys that don't play well together. Trae Young, I don't know what they do with Trae because he has very little trade value.
Which is crazy because, like, if you just look at, like, his numbers and, like, his all-NBA stuff and all-star stuff, and it's like, no one, historically, there's not been guys that are in his position and his age where teams don't want to trade him. But you're right.
I think people forget Luka and Young essentially were traded for each other 6 years ago.
And there was a stretch where, like, NBA Twitter people would be like, this is the most fair trade of all time. Trae Young for Luka, and everyone's like, oh, like, because when Trae Young...
just looking at stats.
And then, first of all, it just kind of includes all of the, like, ex-player for cash considerations, like the trades that, like, kind of were indifferent and neutral.
Yep.
Like, no one talked about. These are the big trade, whatever. And Luka's a Hall of Famer right now. Like, a fact. Like, he is. Like, I think he's 5 first-team All-NBAs in 5 years.
I'm not
or
sure.
4. Like, it's something stupid.
Yep.
So, whatever. Luka's better. Cam Johnson, Dennis Schroeder, Day'Ron Sharpe, and some swaps for Towns.
Keep moving.
I agree. I don't think Minnesota should do that.
Nobody cares.
Wendell Carter, Cole Anthony, and 18th overall for Towns.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
It is interesting because
that is interesting.
I can see Orlando doing this.
Yeah.
And the other, like, I can see what Orlando would benefit. 18 overall is super valuable because the way Minnesota's cap is structured and the new CBA, those back-end first-round guys are super important to have on a team because they're going to be making low salary. Like, it's even different with the new CBA.
Out your roster.
You saw Denver do that. Denver's, like, with Christian Brown, like, he was another guy that kept in this range. Wendell Carter, who probably could start for you. I like Wendell Carter more than most. 18th overall, you probably get a role player. And then Cole Anthony, who I kind of like a bit. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is.
And Orlando gets another score, which they need. Brandon Ingram and Dyson Daniels for Towns.
No, keep that moving.
He says no?
No.
Who says no? Minnesota?
Minnesota says no.
I agree. Garland and Dean Wade for Towns.
No. It's just like the math doesn't work in Cleveland. Like that many bigs, and I don't know.
Oh, you're saying for Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we like DeJounte the most, or Carter? Like, we like one of those?
Yep.
Again, I don't think Minnesota will trade him. But what if Ant just goes up to front office and says, like, look, man,
get
like,
rid of that guy.
It's not working. We tried it. It's not going to work. Then they have to. But I don't even know if Ant's that type of guy yet. I hope he is, but I don't think he is. So that's all I got on the Towns piece. They should trade him.
Good.
Okay, you can keep going.
I think we should talk about Celtics and Pacers a little bit, right? We've got some firsthand knowledge of that series. Again, the last episode, which you should tune and listen to, Young Buck went through easiest paths to the finals. And listen, Pacers were beat up. They held their own for a little bit in some stretches, but listen, the Tatum numbers were pretty decent. Jaylen Brown, Larry Bird trophy, which is kind of interesting.
Which
Holiday,
is a stupid. Sorry, I hate that trophy. So I hate that.
Nobody cares about it.
Keep going. Sorry.
Holiday, if you listen to Bill Simmons, I know Bill Simmons listens to us. He was at a bunch of the games, but he basically said Holiday is the dog on that team now. He's the leader of that team. He's a quiet dude, but he's the defensive stopper, makes big plays offensively. Spicy P for Indianapolis really had a good series. TJ, Nemhart, all pretty solid. Halliburton is kind of a reluctant star. I don't really know what's going to happen with him. I think he can't be a number one. He's got to be a number two.
I'm not going to go into the Indiana. I don't have anything on Indiana.
Yep.
I don't really want to go into that yet. They're far away from being a viable contender.
I wrote down 6 seed is about right for them.
The Boston piece, as soon as they went after Holiday, I'll talk about this because I'm all for
yeah.
I'm all for the intangible alpha stuff.
Yep.
Like I just love that stuff. And I hated Smart, but Smart by default was kind of that guy for Boston over the past few years. Yep. Even though I hated Smart as a player, as a dude, because he's an actual felon. He punched that guy in college. It's so funny. Watch that clip. So I'm like, Holiday's going to be their alpha, their leader, and of course Al Horford. We knew it was kind of, and that's exactly. And it has
Old
been those
man Al
two.
is solid,
especially when they don't really have a coach. And look, Missoula's probably in the championship this year, and that's whatever. But even Celtics fans don't really like him yet,
nope.
And I don't think they ever will. Horford and Holiday are the two leaders, the two vets. They're leading this team because whatever you say about Tatum, skill wise, top 10 player in the NBA. Not an alpha, and I'm not saying that as a bad way. It's just a fact. He's not an alpha. He's not one of those psycho playoff guys where it's just like lead you into battle. Ant
5 for 18.
I will go into battle with Ant. Like
agreed.
Luka has that. There's not a ton of guys, and some guys are just kind of like have a weird version of it. Like Jokic has a weird version of this, where guys just like look up to him and want to be like him and do what he does.
They make better decisions with the ball. They make better decisions off the court as well.
So yeah, Holiday and Horford, like those guys are so crucial to this team.
Boston just checks so many boxes with intangibles, with defense, with.
Okay, go in the finals. Talk about game one.
Here's game one. 3 factors, right? Boston's threes. Porzingis, man, off for 38 days, but he came back and he was great. He had that stretch in the second quarter. He was just on fire. Blocking everything, hitting contested shots. Yeah, they were doing pick and roll. So then Porzingis was guarded by a guy who's 6 or 7 inches shorter than him. And all he did was rotate, face up, maybe get an elbow in the chin of whoever's guarding him, and then hit jumpers. And it was huge. And then they played great D. They really did. I give Boston credit. Dallas missed some shots in the first quarter that could have kept it a little bit closer. Luka had that one run in the third quarter to get them within 8. But then that was it. Boston just went on another run. It was done. Tatum, he stayed quiet. He played good D. He focused on rebounds.
What was he, 6 or 16 or 6? What's your number? You're going to get it tattooed on you.
Yeah, my number for Tatum is like 5 for 18, 6 for 18. That's kind of his stat line often. And he was about that in the first game. It was pretty close. But he probably got 10 boards. And here's the thing. This shows you how good Boston is. Tatum and Brown could both not have very good games, and they still win, which shows...
Luka has a bad game.
Yeah.
Dallas loses by 40.
Exactly.
Tatum has a bad game. Boston wins by 20.
Listen, I just need to do a little analysis more of Porzingis and even old man Al. Because Boston moves the ball really well, they got lots of guys who can shoot. They do have guys who can take people off the dribble to create open shots. They're good enough that they're going to get open threes. I'm not a very good basketball player, but I get open 17-foot jumpers because Isaac draws a lot of attention and he just dishes me the ball. Thanks. That's every player on Boston, right? Like, it doesn't really matter what's happening. Hauser, I don't think, is very good on the Pistons, but on Boston, he's pretty good. Boston had 7 different people hit multiple three-point shots. They're going to win.
Yeah, it's a good stat. I saw that one too. 7 people, 2 plus 3s.
Leading scored 22 points.
So we'll go with the Boston piece. The Celtics' depth, size, and versatility. I just said that is going to triumph over Luka, and unfortunately, that's what happened. And look, it's still game 1. I didn't watch game 1. I had basketball, and
then it was over. You texted me, and I gave you some updates, and that was it.
The way it was set up is I could have watched the second half, after basketball if I hustled, but I saw the score and I'm like, maybe I don't need to put myself through this tonight. So I didn't watch the end of game 1.
Good call.
I watched some highlights. I read a lot about it. I listened to a lot about it. But I just had no interest in just watching like this awesome super team just like rain threes on defenseless Luka. Defenseless Luka, because Luka's defense is also pretty bad. But,
his defense is pretty bad.
the best player always like wins series. That's kind of the thing. If you ask NFL, NBA guys, like the best player is going to win the division. The best player is going to win the series. Luka is far and away the best player in the series. So if you are believing in Dallas, that's your backbone of your debate. Right? It's just like Luka's going to triumph over Tatum.
Then you say Kyrie is the third best player in the series after Tatum.
Yeah, for sure. Or Brown, for that matter.
Yeah.
If you pick Dallas, it's because of the closing game stuff. If Dallas keeps games close, they can win. If they keep it within, I think crunch time in the NBA is within 5 with 5 minutes to go, I think is the number.
Yeah.
If Dallas can have a few crunch time games, they can win.
Yes, I agree. But you have to get to that point.
But they can't be down 28 points in the second quarter, which they were. Widest second quarter deficit in finals history.
Whew, didn't know that.
28 points. I got a couple stats here. So Boston was up, I think, 19 after the first quarter. That was, I think, the most ever. That was the widest margin.
Okay.
Dallas, 11 turnovers, 9 assists, and 2 of the assists were in garbage time. So 11 turnovers to 7 assists for Dallas. And they really made Luka, not necessarily, they made him kind of just a scorer, but they just kind of played him straight up, which is the right play to if you have the guys and the versatility.
And so what happened was Luka normally has, 8, 10, 11 assists a game. Luka only had 6 assist possibilities.
The potential assists.
Yeah, and they were 1 for 6.
Which is a great stat. I love the potential assists.
Stat.
No, because people don't look about like the potential assists. I use it for betting, respectfully.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of look at trends, and it's pretty advanced stuff, but it works.
I don't use it for betting.
Boston had 9 blocks.
Yeah.
Crazy, so big. This is the first time Dallas is playing a team with a consistent stretch 5. If you look at who they played so far, they didn't have a guy like Porzingis. They haven't played a guy like Zinger. Boston, and this is the first time Boston's playing a real basketball team. It only took them to the finals, so that's a big deal. Dallas has been great at protecting the rim, but they've had a non-shooting threat to roam off of. If you look at every series, they've had a guy they can just leave, whether it be like a Giddey or a Gobert or an Anderson or Zubac. They can't do that this series. So that limits what Lively and Gafford bring, unfortunately. What else do you have?
It's funny because 3 days ago they were talking about best backcourts all time, right? Because of Luka and Kyrie. Well, I think that conversation is pretty quiet today. Now, even if they have a great run and they win some games, they're not even going to be anywhere in the top 5, and that might be a topic that we do later on because I've got some thoughts on best backcourts of all time. But again, we'll save that for another day. Listen, I hope Dallas makes it a series because I hate Boston. And let's be really clear. We don't hate many teams, right? Our general philosophy is we enjoy sports. We enjoy watching the action.
It's much better to enjoy sports if you root for it and like rather than rooting for dislike. You know what I mean?
There's a handful of players and a handful of teams that we don't care for, right? We don't like Rudy, but listen, nobody likes Gobert.
Except Carson. My
Carson?
buddy. Yeah, Sadler really is a big Gobert defender.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
L. Carson.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about fantasy football dynasty trades, which is a whole different thing, but that's a lot of fun. Sorry, keep going.
No, listen, I hope we get a good series. Let's go Dallas.
So going into the series, I had Boston in 6. And I still think that's very possible.
I had Boston in 5.
I said Boston will get cold one game, so that's a loss. They'll shoot 6 for 30 from 3 one game and lose. And then I said Luka will score 55 in one game and win.
Okay, there's the 2. That makes sense.
So those are my 2. But that could happen. If that happens in one game, then you're right. It's going to be Boston in 5.
Yep.
No Laker talk. No Laker talk.
No, we got to start talking about the Detroit Lions.
Okay, sure. I have one little thing.
Go nuts.
It's basketball, though.
Sure.
So it's not quite football. I'll ask you. CBS had an NBA trade target thing where they listed their most likely guys to get traded. And I'm going to list you the first 5 guys, and then you can re-rank them because I disagree with their ranking.
Got it. Okay.
So 1 was Jimmy.
Most likely?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
2 was Trey. 3 was Garland. 4 was Ingram. 5 was Murray, DeJounte Murray. And then they had like Michael Bridges and Towns and Allen, Jared Allen.
Listen, Jimmy shouldn't even be in that top 5. I'm putting Trey Young first. I'm putting Murray second.
Okay.
And then Garland, then Ingram, then Jimmy.
Okay, so I had a similar ranking. So I just so Trey and Murray I put together like you.
Yep.
Garland and Allen I put together. And then I had Ingram. And then I have Michael Bridges. if Brooklyn has any sense of basketball,
There's
you need
lots
to
of
trade
guys that
him.
would be ahead of those guys.
And then I Jimmy. I don't think Jimmy will get traded. We won't do a Jimmy segment here, but I saw that and it was kind of confusing
That's
to me.
interesting.
Okay, that's all I got.
Again, that might have just been clickbait.
Well, it worked. Okay,
It did.
Lions, go ahead.
Okay, so Detroit Lions, our favorite team, the home team, Windsor Essex's own, hot. We're super fans. Everybody's hyped about the Lions, and it's June 8th. Fans have been asking for this one. We're going to go through game by game and predict a win or a loss. A little bit of analysis, if you like. We did not compare notes ahead of time. Game 1 going against Matt Stafford and the Rams. I've got Kelly Stafford and her kids getting booed off the field. Stafford does not have a hero game. The Lions play solid and win. They're 1-0.
So this is going to be a very emotional game again.
Very
A
emotional.
lot of these games are just because now Lions games mean so
Well, now
much.
there's history.
So I don't love doing the game. I told them before we started. I said I don't love doing game by game prediction, and I'll just say it. What if X player rolls his ankle in, at Green Bay, and then he's injured versus Houston? Like I don't like doing
Sure,
this.
that makes a difference.
But we're going to do it nonetheless because he
Listen,
said so.
and the fans want this.
Do they?
They do.
Okay. I have Lions beating the Rams. There's too much riding on that game. They're
We
gonna be going
have
hot.
to figure out watch party. What are we doing there?
Or we'll just be in Detroit. That also works.
Could be.
Okay. So
Okay.
Lions beating Rams. I want to know.
Again, NFL, they're living off the Lions' love. Game 2 is against the Buccaneers, also a rematch of the playoff game from a few months ago. Listen, Tampa was lucky to be there last year. They're going to be lucky to be here this year. Boom, Baker goes down. Lions are 2-0.
I agree. I have a W next to that. Keep going.
At the Cardinals, Kyler Murray's going to take his tiny little car to the game. He's going to get squished by Aiden, throw a couple of picks to the Lions' new defensive backfield. 3-0.
I have a loss at Arizona. Sorry. They're going to lose games that they shouldn't lose. That's
sure.
just football.
Yep.
That's sports. Marvin Harrison scares me a lot. So, and if you look at their schedule, I just find it unlikely that they start off like, we'll see how, so I have a loss.
Okay,
I'll go into Seattle. I have them beating Seattle.
good.
Do you have them beating Seattle?
Actually, I have them beating Seattle as well. They've been taking it on the chin from Seattle a lot, so they're going to punch Seattle in the mouth.
So my kind of rationale when I looked at schedule is I don't know if they can go 4-0 into the bye. So I think they drop one of the first 4. Just like if you just look at
the stats prove your prediction.
Okay.
But it just goes against my deep analytical stats
and
knowledge.
Shout out Luke Wilson, but I want to beat Seattle. They've had our number. Seattle's
Yes,
had our number.
they've
I've been
punching
there
us.
for all these games. Just devastating. We got to beat Seattle. Monday Night Football, that's an emotional one too. School will probably not get done Monday night. I'll be watching that game. Okay, week 5 bye week, which sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. It's early bye week, but it's okay.
Okay, week 6 revenge.
Cowboys, it pains me to say it, but they're going to give one up. They're going to lose 4-1. They're going to lose, and they're going to be 4-1.
Like I just look at
Goff's going to have some turnovers. Parsons is going to plant him a couple times.
So I just look at the schedule and it's like that's taking up all of my Sunday, that's taking up all of my Thursday. Like this can be a big deal. It's a full-time job watching these games and following the Lions this year. They're going to lose to Dallas. I have that down as a loss. It sucks. We're going to get crapped on for saying that.
Yeah. So you've got the Lions at 3-2. I've got them at 4-1.
Yeah, I have them 3-2
after week 6.
I have them at 3-2.
All right, now they're coming home and playing JJ and Minnesota. Sorry, JJ, but you're not going to be very good yet. I saw some passes from his camp, and he was good on some passes, but the deep stuff, the out stuff, not very good at yet. Lions, again, get some picks. JJ does not have a very good game, and the Lions win easily. They're 5-1.
I have a win versus Minnesota. Yeah.
Okay. Versus the Titans. I don't know that much about the Titans. I'm not going to lie. I just put down a win.
This is in October 20. This is October 27th. This has got trap game written all over it. All over it. I'm putting it on trap watch now. I think they'll beat Tennessee, but Tennessee's got really good receivers and good backs. They're actually sneaky good. They should be at least. I don't know if Levis is any good. That kind of comes down to that.
Yeah,
but I put down a win. But this game's going to scare me. That's a very scary game.
Okay, well, rolling in the pack, November 3rd. You know what? Listen, they're going to lose some games, and I do have them losing to Green Bay, and they're 6-2 after week 9.
Dub. I got them beating Green Bay at Lambeau.
Nice.
Green Bay fraud, calling it.
Okay.
I'm in on the Lions this game, for sure.
All right. Week 10 at the Texans, CJ Stroud and their revamped offense. I do have another loss. They're going to be 6-3 after week 10.
I have a loss to Houston as well. Houston scares me.
Houston is solid.
I don't look at them like I view the Thunder in the NBA, but they're pretty close just in terms of like if they win two rings in the next 6 years, I can kind of buy that.
Yeah. Jaguars, they have them at home.
Really emphasize the wire on that, right?
Yeah, wire, yeah.
Isn't it Jaguars?
Jaguars, yeah.
Jaguars? Is it you?
Jaguars.
I don't know. Wire, it was pretty sharp wire. We'll see what people say, but keep going.
Okay. Either way, they're not very good. We thought they were good, they're not.
And they have a name that's pretty hard to pronounce.
It's hard to pronounce.
I don't know how they say it in Florida. They definitely just say Jags.
Jags.
Respectfully to Florida.
7-3.
Yeah, they're beating Jacksonville.
Yep.
We're just calling them Jacksonville. They'll beat Jacksonville. At the Colts.
Listen,
Trap.
It is trap. I don't think Richardson is as good as some people are making him out to be. They're not going to score a ton of points. The Colts. So I have the Lions winning. They're 8-3.
Okay, I have them winning too. But if Richardson's healthy, he hasn't been healthy a ton. He's really scary. He's really scary to watch.
For sure, he can run and he can throw, but I just think he's going to be inconsistent and dinged up.
Yeah, week 12, you're saying he's dinged up. I agree. So I have a win there. Then Thanksgiving.
Okay, a couple of big things. Thursday, November 28th, my 55th birthday.
That's an emotional day.
That's a big day, right? 55, Junior Sale, Derek Barnes, lots of good guys with 55.
Junior Sale, R.I.P.
R.I.P., yep. And then, sorry Bears, sorry Urban Paul, you're going down.
Okay, so I know it's in November 28th, and you have work, and I have exams probably, but why can't we go to that game? It's your birthday after all.
I can probably take it off.
Actually, don't just say that and then not.
Okay, let me talk to Z.
Your boss?
No. She's my consigliere.
Okay. Oh, that's a good Godfather reference. Okay.
Yeah.
They're beating Chicago, but I think we have to be there. And the people are going to people are going to listen, it's your birthday and the line, you got to go.
Probably.
Then they're playing Thursday night football versus Green Bay.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Thursdays. I love it.
Which is the way to... I like that, actually.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I've got them squishing the pack as a little bit of a revenge game because they lost earlier in the season. I've got them 9-4 after week 14.
Okay, so I'm putting down a loss.
Okay.
I think they lose one of those two division games there.
Okay.
Thursday, November 28th, it's the Bears. Thursday.
Wait a sec. No. I have them actually... Sorry, September 5th, I have them as a loss. Did I say that?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, buddy. After I said my pick for a loss. I think they lose to either Chicago or Green Bay.
Agreed.
They'll lose one of those division games.
I don't think they'll lose on Thanksgiving, though.
I hope not, because it was devastating
It's a terrible
last year.
birthday present to me.
So then Sunday, December 15th, so 10 days off, and then they host Buffalo.
Yeah, I've got to win against Buffalo, even though they're going to travel well. But I don't know who Buffalo, who's Allen throwing to?
They have a couple guys now.
Dalton something or other, the tight end.
Oh, they don't connect, but they drafted a guy. Buffalo's still got guys. They're going to be good. They probably will win that division this year. Buffalo will. I think they beat Buffalo, though. But this is a super tough game. They'll probably be a dog right now. Maybe not. But then they go at Chicago.
Actually, I have a loss at Chicago.
So do I. Soldier Field scares me.
It's a tough place to play in December. And listen, they've got Thanksgiving on their mind. And they lose one. They're 10-5.
Everybody is going to be having loss down just late in the year, December on the road for Chicago. That's historically, we're not going to talk about it, but not best. Goff's not his best there.
Not so good.
Then we're going on the road again, back-to-back road games, going Monday Night Football at San Francisco. Speak of emotions.
Yeah.
Do you have a revenge? Put down, please, say win.
I have a loss.
Okay, then I'm saying win. That's two.
Okay.
They need to win this game.
Fair
That's
enough.
a huge game.
I have them 10-6, and what do you have them at that point?
Well, I just changed my prediction because I originally wrote down loss, but I just said it's a win.
Good. That's good. That's good karma.
Yeah, they got to beat San Francisco. That game means so much.
Okay.
December 30th, we'll be in Florida watching, That's
Mom's birthday.
Yeah, I know. That's
big.
That's gonna make or break the trip. I'm just looking at this schedule, like I said,
8:15 early dinner on December 30th.
Actually,
for sure.
Put that
5
down
o'clock
now.
rezo.
So
5 o'clock rezo. Book a rezo.
Just hey,
Hey fans, text me when you listen to this. Say book the early dinner on the 30th.
Well, no, what we're gonna do
don't
is
tell Daniela that you heard this.
We're gonna book it and just not say anything and say oh, we knew they were really busy around this time of year, so we wanted to book it early in advance. Actually,
sure.
That's the narrative we'll build up. I'm good at doing that. That's the narrative.
It's a good call.
Okay, then they're playing Minnesota week 18. This might matter, it might not.
This does matter, and Lions win. They're 11-6. They actually win their division with that win.
Okay, I don't know because I think I have 12-6 maybe now or 11-6.
No, you have 12-5.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm not the best with the numbers. Lions are going to be so good. That's all I got.
Good. We're hyped on the Lions. Just a quick quick little segment on best travel snacks. Isaac has put /pocket snacks. Now, Obviously, travel snacks are generally for driving, but sometimes flying. Could be a train. I guess it could even be a boat, although we don't do a lot of boating.
Ferry, perhaps.
Yeah, do we do? When's the last time we've done some serious boating?
Last summer, I ripped some boating, some kayaking with Deo, and we became hunter-gatherers.
Nice, that's cool.
We just hop on a kayak and spend
Shout
a
out Dale
day.
for graduation.
Yeah, Deo graduated. My guy,
Listen,
Deo. Good job,
either
man.
he has the best skin ever, or his pictures were like.
Was there
fixed
some
up a little
filters?
bit.
I don't
There
get
was
that
some
reference.
filters.
Okay, I'll ask him about this. So, such an odd reference to me.
It's an odd reference.
Okay, best travel snacks. Go ahead.
Okay, easy ones. Pringles, right? Like they're super handy to get. Reach down, grab them, easy.
Overrated. I know I'm gonna get crapped on, but
Everybody loves Pringles.
yeah, they're fine. They're good.
Yeah, traditional,
Just-
flavor as well.
Just I don't know, not for me.
Okay,
They're just overrated.
We need some healthy stuff too.
Okay, so I
Do
can.
you want to give one?
Yeah, so I'll chime in there. So snacks are very consistent for me now. Like I have a routine. I have this is what I get. This
His
is
top five. He doesn't deviate.
I put this in this pocket. I put this in this. Like I put my apple in my hoodie when I go into Tiger game. Like it's all a system now at this
Yeah,
point.
the ushers even know. Hey, did you pack in a couple?
Well, there's that
apples?
freak show who's got 2 apples in his hoodie. Cy is the usher who I always get when I go in. Same entrance. It's all consistent. So first we'll do the Detroit bit. So it's apples and protein bars. Just like
Easy. Like it's very transportable. Like if somebody looks, if the usher is like, oh, what's that? It's an apple or a protein bar. Say, I'm pre-diabetes, so I just need to have those things available.
yeah, I haven't said that, but people, because I make friends around me and they'll just see me like 7th inning whip out an apple and they think I'm a lunatic.
The best bag
I wrote down bag pizza.
bag pizza we did at a Red Wings game.
We went to a
last year.
Wings game last year, and I'm not sure. There was some mania going on before where we didn't have a lot of time. There was some leftover pizza or something, and we just shoved it in a Ziploc bag and went to the Wings game. And then, like, halfway through the second period, we just rip open this bag of old pizza, and we're in nice seats, so everyone's looking around like, what are these guys
little
doing?
strange.
These guys deranged? Where'd they get the... Because you see pizza at... you see pizza at hockey games, but you don't see guys pull out of bags. So, do we just stop recording or do we keep going?
Just keep rolling.
Okay.
This is a good content.
So I wrote down bag pizza, and I actually capitalized B and P, bag pizza, because we're gonna put it some sort of trademark. We're gonna sell it in a bag. So bag pizza at Wings games. That's really, really good stuff.
That's good.
Okay, so back to protein bars, apples. Big fan of that.
Okay, so nobody would think that my energy is natural. It is enhanced. Espresso. We haven't gotten into smuggling an espresso, but we could get to there. But
Because I don't have a radical espresso agenda.
no, chocolate covered espresso beans. That's a real thing.
When's the last time you ate whatever that is, dude?
Driving Florida. Yeah,
Okay,
those
so
are great travel snacks.
so many months ago.
Yeah, months ago.
Okay, in New York, the travel snacks. I have a whole segment on New York stuff.
Okay.
Because when you're in New York, and the way we go hard. Where it's like we're leaving the hotel at 10, and then we're gone for the day, right?
Yeah, and
Going
free
across the
breakfast
country.
is key because then free breakfast becomes free breakfast, lunch, and late night snack.
So I just wrote down muffins, swaddled, and toilet paper. I think swaddled is the word.
Swaddled is the word. Yeah.
What we do is we get muffins, we bring them up to the hotel room, and then you just get TP and you wrap them and you stuff them in the pockets, and there's lunch. Simple as
See,
that.
here's the other thing. If you brought some bagged pizza and used those bags could be washed out, hung in the shower to dry out a little bit, and you could put the muffins in there afterwards.
Yep. I wrote down cough drops. That's fuel.
Oh, yeah. That's Isaac cough drops.
I like my cough drops. It's good fuel.
It does.
It's good. It's just really efficient. Peanut butter packs.
I've got anything with peanut butter in it, on it, around it, near it. It's all good.
Well, I'm talking the little things
Yeah.
at the hotel. Because what Noah would do is Noah would steal those and he'd just like midday rip them. And he'd just go to town, eat
bit
the
of
peanut butter
protein.
pack.
Yeah.
Like just like crazy, like finger scooping, like pretty savage, barbaric stuff there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Jello shot.
I wrote down prime. Nope, not drinking. Cleansing. I have to make weight for my fight coming up.
Okay.
So prime into the venue. So at UFC, they have like a thing where they give away a bunch of stuff and you can meet fighters, whatever. They're giving away prime.
That's
so
cool.
we wanted to bring it into the
Yeah, we've had a
fights.
lot of like funny little freebie drinks at various.
So what we did, this is
Stadiums
really
and
good.
arenas.
People were trying to put the prime in their pockets, and they're just getting boom sniped. The ushers were on it at the security because you can't bring in prime.
Hood?
I didn't have a hood, so what I did was I actually bought a shirt in the outside on the street for $10, just efficient there. I got the shirt. and I swaddled the Prime in the shirt. So as I walked in, I said, "It's just a shirt. It's just a shirt."
Excellent swaddle use today.
So what I did is I just showed the security. I said, "Look, here's just a shirt, guys." Inside the shirt was the Prime. Went right through, unfazed. So it was just really,
Not
really proud of
that
that.
you deal drugs, but you'd be a good drug dealer.
Again, that's not something we should talk about. That's a stay away for me in every facet.
But you'd be
for
good
that
at
matter.
it. Yeah, it's true.
I would run the streets, but that's a stay away for that matter.
Okay.
What else do you have?
I just got a couple of bad travel snacks. So about 25 years ago,
This is gonna be so manic.
yeah, no, we were driving to Florida, and it's one of those 3 a.m. run in. It was with Uncle Dante and all that. This might even, this is probably before kids.
Well, I'm 20.
Yeah, so that math checks out.
Yeah, and that was 25.
So driving to Florida, going pee, running in, and then it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. We're just kind of dozy, a little bit confused, and we get back in the car. Danielle's sleeping again. And I said to Dante, I said, did you see something on the roller that looked like a cheeseburger in the shape of a hot dog?
It's a
And he
good find.
said, yeah, I did, but I wasn't sure what it was. That was the birth of the cheeseburger dog. Like now with cheeseburger dogs all over the place. But 25 years ago, just in their infancy, not sure if it was Tennessee or Kentucky, but one of those 2 states is where cheeseburger dogs were born. That's a terrible snack.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to make a mess. It's going to make you sick. There's a decent chance it's going to make you poop your pants. And then you still have to go through all of Georgia and all of Florida. That's a bad travel snack.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. That's again, I used this a couple times. That's a stay away.
That's a stay away.
This is a term I'm just gonna. So I've kind of used this in just day-to-day life. I recommend you use it where it's just like there's a situation or a thing or a comment you could make.
Probably. Is that relevant with Pedro sometimes?
No, no.
He's smart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but sometimes
Pedro's smart.
something will pop up in day-to-day life where you want to comment on it or you want to say something,
Just stay away.
and you just say that's a stay away. You put your hands up. Whereas in this case, and I have no interest in whatever that cheeseburger dog is.
Cheeseburger dog.
That's a stay away.
That's a stay away for sure.
So you guys can feel free to use that.
Sometimes people pack like deviled eggs.
That's another stay away.
That's a stay away because eggs actually get bad quickly.
In the plane, if you're flying.
Yeah.
Because I was reaching on some flights.
Yeah.
Flight etiquette is just, it needs to be studied and practiced more. Not a lot of people are educated. And
No, you don't take off your shoes on an airplane.
you gotta have, socks are nice, but whatever. To my flight etiquette is I just kind of put in some pods and just power down for a couple hours. And that's my etiquette is kind of, I'll do that.
Pods, book, period. And you camel up a little bit. You pee before you go on, so you don't need to bug people next to you if you've got an interior seat.
Yeah, you better
Don't
not
be rude.
Well, yeah, New York is a quick flight. Like, if you're getting at the pee, whatever. We're not going to talk about peeing anymore.
Enough.
Yeah, it's a stay away.
Okay.
I've got nothing else. That's good, I think.
Fans, 47 minutes in. Thanks for your support. We appreciate it. And more Lions talk, NBA talk coming up soon.
What are we talking about next episode?
I don't know.
Oh, not a good start. Okay.
We'll get some content.
Okay. All right. Figure it out.
Okay. Peace out.